Monday the 14th of March 2022, and in this show I am not going to do any kind of advertising like subscribe or share or comment. No, this is just going to be about what the title says. So let's do it. So the video at the very beginning of this show was in Sichuan. Sichuan is in West China, the state next to, the province next to Tibet. And these were some videos shot of a heritage site in Sichuan where the rain has started already. And even though there's no, you could say, serious flood, it is beginning for the water of the rivers to rise. If you want to see more, I do have it at the very end of this video. We all know if you go to Google Earth and you type in Three Gorges, it's just a Photoshop picture and it all looks all dandy and all wonderful. But if you move west of that and go back and you go into the small city or large town next to the Three Gorges upstream, you will notice this picture. And I have seen this on a website a couple of times but never really concentrated on it, that this is sort of like a protector dam that protects the Three Gorges from maybe overflowing, overspilling, etc., etc. Go and check it out yourself. It's actually quite interesting what it actually is. It's this part of a river that was dammed, so the water from the river from this dam is not going into the Three Gorges because it is too much. It's sort of one of these question marks that we don't know about. Again, by all means, go to Google Earth, type in Three Gorges, and then go upstream a little bit and it's on the right hand side. But now let's have a look at the levels for today. Now at the time of recording, it's round about 9 o'clock in the morning my time, and I haven't even had a shower and my hair is in a mess, but I got a bucket load to do today, so I'm doing this quite early. Kutan is up again. Now Kutan is 660 kilometers away. This is basically Chongqing, and it is at 166.43. 660 kilometers below that is the Three Gorges Reservoir going east. That's gone down to 166.01, so it is going in the right direction for the floods, but seems to be too slow. Now we're in the middle of March. The inflow is back today at 6,003 and the outflow is at 8,003, something like that as well. So always good to keep an eye on, and occasionally I do go into more graphs and more detail related to it, but not going to do that every day. But we do have the weather for central China and the Yangtze and the Three Gorges a little bit later on, and you can see more rain is approaching, up to about 4.4 millimeters, which is not much at the moment, but again, this is meant to be a time when it's relatively dry, but rain is coming around into central China. We'll check that out later. Now, the thing in the title, and something which I did mention yesterday and still working on, is related to the insurance of the dam. And has the dam insurance company, the international one called Willis Insurance and Risk Management, stopped doing the assessments of the insurance of the dam? And I'm trying to find out the information of a friend of a friend of a friend. You may remember in August 2020 that I did do a rather large video that got about 170,000 views related to the overspill. This is the time, the overspill of the dam, when a friend of a friend of a friend, Sherlock Holmes, you'll never get it, was actually on the dam doing an insurance valuation. Now, there are some stories coming out, and these are stories at the moment. There's no facts here until I have the evidence and can authenticate them, is from this company, Willis Insurance and Risk Management. And the reason being is these kind of headlines that have cropped up in the last couple of years. Severe monsoon flood exposes protection gap in China. And let's have a little read just from a small article, and this is putting off the insurance people of the international insurance brokers of the Three Gorges. Flood risk is on the rise. Addressing these limitations is a matter of urgency since climate change models predict an increase in the fluency and frequency, intensity, extreme weather in China. Over the past 60 years, the number of days of heavy rain has increased nearly by 4% every decade, which is a bucket load, according to the National Climate Center in China. Development and human activity worsens the situation. Decades of land reclamation and, I can't get my words out today, and dam building lowered the area and volume of lakes and rivers, etc., etc. So you can see, this Three Gorges seems to be getting non-insurable. It's becoming, year by year, high risk and high risk. Climate change makes the floods and the rains start even earlier. Here, for example, there's very, very, very little pollution, but 2 weeks ago there was a really heavy rainstorm in the middle of summer. It doesn't happen. Usually the rain starts in this country June, and the heavy rain is September. But in the dry season, it's rained already 3 or 4 times. Is this climate change? So is this happening in China? The answer is yes, there is an increase. So therefore is a increase of collapse or breaks or cracks, etc. at the dam. Now, let's go into the weather and let's have a look at that so you can see what's happening over the next couple of days, courtesy of Vensky.com. So, no music today, but we're just going through this step by step. The hand by the Three Gorges, as always, you can see central China, and any dark red spaces means it's quite heavy rain. And nothing for the first couple of days, but you see from the west some weather storms are coming. Not so serious, there are some thunderstorms, and you can see just one time it gets to 4.4 millimeters in the Three Gorges. And as always, it just goes off to the west, but this is the actual start. And we mentioned earlier in Sichuan, this is further west, which is not on the map at the moment. So what is China doing, or what is China saying about it? Are they prepared? This is an article which I found. Sponge city concepts could be the answer to China's impending water crisis. And here is a model picture of it. Now, they do have some sponge cities, and one sponge city from last year in Henan province didn't seem to work. They did have 600 millimeters of rain within 24 hours, but the sponge city should be able to deal with that. A main problem is the sewers. The drainage system in a lot of cities in China is out of date. Now, I can refer back to this city that over 2021 there was a major overhaul of 38 roads and drainage systems. So when the rain comes in May, June of this year, we are not going to get severe floods, which is great. China needs to do exactly the same with that, but they talk about it, but to do all the cities that are going to flood is going to be $1 trillion investment. Do they have the money? Well, they say they do, but how much do you believe that comes from the CCP in China? Let's move on to a different subject today. Now, there are urban legends, and they are urban legends, whether there is a nuclear power plant underneath the Three Gorges or next to or in the Three Gorges Dam. And I've been searching for this, you could say, for years, well, a couple of years, and I still can't find any evidence. I know it's not really going to be revealed if it's a secret, like you could say Area 51. These are just going to be urban legends. But Independence Day with Will Smith showed that there are aliens at Area 51 in the United States of America. Here is a picture of China. Here are all what China says are the nuclear plants. The ones that are opening, ones that are under construction, and the ones which are planned. There is one in Hubei province. You can see that right in the middle, and that one is a planned one. But most of the nuclear power plants, like most of them around the world, are usually by the sea because they need a lot of water, etc., etc. You know the routine. Let's move on to something which is happening in China as well, but this is not related to the Three Gorges or the floods. And this has reared its ugly head in China again. In Changchun, in the north of, or the northeast of China, is related to Omicron, COVID-19, etc., has reared its ugly head. And this city is becoming partially on a lockdown. A lockdown in China means you cannot go out. Literally, you can't go out. And it can be a full lockdown, which means you can never go out, and you have to rely on the local council to deliver you food. They will seal you in your house or your apartment, but it hasn't got to that stage. Over 1,000 cases of Omicron have been found in this area. In China yesterday, it was 3,400. Now, this is sort of a embarrassment to the Chinese government because basically, well, they said they had a zero tolerance policy on COVID, but it doesn't seem to really work it hasn't really worked, to be honest with you. That brings us to a close on Monday, the 14th of March, 2022. Thank you so much for joining. Now, as I promised at the very beginning, there is no things related to me groveling about subscriptions or sharing or to like or to hit the notification button. None of that. But I will leave you with the video, which is about a minute long, of the floods, or you could say the very high water level on a river in Sichuan, very close to Tibet, taken this month of March 2022. My name is James. Thank you as always for your time. Bye bye for now. Thank you.